Books on Books on the Brain.
Welcome back to Books on the Brain, a podcast of books and nonsense. My name is Danielle,
My name is Deirdre.
and we are back, sports fans, for another episode. Hey, how's it
Hey,
going?
it's going.
It sure is. It sure is. Anyone who has mm, gracing themselves with our beautiful presence via the video podcast will see that Deirdre is back in her apartment.
For now.
Hmm. And I am in someone's childhood bedroom. Not mine. A family member's. I am on the go. I am a learned traveled woman this week. Um I'm in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. Shout out to any Winnipeggers out there. I don't think that's what Winnipeg
Winnipegans.
maybe. Still doesn't sound very good, but meh.
I don't think it's Winnipeggers.
Whoa, okay. Winnipegites. I don't know. But here I am. Here I am in the homeland of my mother after Italy being her actually homeland. The
Mm-hmm.
immigrated homeland of a huge portion of Canada's immigrants.
Right.
How the heck are you, brother?
I'm good. I saw a ballet last night.
Which
I've been
ballet?
I saw Sylvia, which I'd never heard of, and I was so excited.
Okay, I don't
I've
think I've heard
been
of it either.
I've been in my ballet era this summer. I've seen three of ABT's ballets for their summer season. And Sylvia is a like mythology based ballet and it's a love story.
Mhm.
So it's about a shepherd boy and a nymph. And they both sort of not worship, but like are tied to Eros. And he sees her with her other nymph people.
Yeah.
They're both tied to Eros, and she ends up getting hit with Eros's arrow after she shoots an arrow at the shepherd boy because she's like, "Get out of my grotto."
Sure.
And and now she's in love with shepherd boy. Also, they're in love. But Orion, who is like an evil shepherd,
Mhm.
um, wants to possess Sylvia. And so he kidnaps her
Uh,
and she like is taken to his cave and he tries to win her over with like jewels and fabrics and like money. And all she wants is the arrow that she got hit with. And he's like, no, this is a love arrow. Like, I'm gonna make you fall in love with me. And so she ends up getting him drunk and dancing for him and getting him to fall asleep. And then she gets her arrow back. And then Eros comes and finds her and takes her to a temple of Diana. And so the like finale of the ballet is that there's this festival happening outside this temple, and Eros has kind of like told Shepherd Boy where to go. He is
yeah.
bringing Sylvia, and then there's a whole bunch of other people that get brought in, and they are like, "We're so in love, we're so happy, la la la." And then Orion comes back, and him and Shepherd Boy fight. And Diana gets offended that they're fighting in front of her temple, so she bars Sylvia from her temple and is like, no. And then I think, based on what I saw with my eyes, Diana kills Orion
Okay.
uh, because he's like instigating all of this.
Yeah, well,
But
within her right.
then she tries to like stop the union of Shepherd Boy and Sylvia. She's like, "No, you brought this fighting to my temple on this feast day." And Eros comes in and is like, "Remember? remember your great love. And there's like ABT is really great at doing this like up top on their set, there's a like hidden scrim. And so
Yeah.
all of a sudden it's like revealed, and there are two dancers acting out a scene now, like up in the heavens. And it's this
Romance.
memory of her with Endymion, I think. Um, and she's like, "Oh, you're right. I was in love." And then they live happily ever after. I
And
was
you're like,
like,
okay.
it was so fun. It was a little messy, like some of the dancing. Um, but it was one
Drama.
of the most fun ballets I've ever seen. The choreography was intense. It was very, very difficult. The score was really cool. And I was like, how fun. This ballet's been around since the late 1800s, and I'd never heard of it.
Yeah, I've never, that sounds so fun.
Right?
Sounds super cool. Well, I'm glad you had a fun time. Glad you're in your
So
ballet era.
I know it's ending. Their season ends next week with Swan Lake, which I've already seen, so I probably won't go see it again.
Short but sweet era.
Hmm.
Short but
I
sweet.
love the ABT summer season.
I love that for you. I love that for you.
What about
Uh,
you? How's your week going?
it's good. I'm very, very tired. Um, I I went to Stampede last week, or I
Oh,
guess this week, because it's Stampede in Calgary, Greatest Outdoor Show on Earth.
hmm.
Um, we went to Stampede and I tried my like the only reason I go to Stampede is to try the food because the food's a
Mm,
little crazy cuckoo.
yeah.
Um, but I got a Korean corn dog, so like half mozzarella, half dog.
Hmm.
And then on the outside it had fruity pebbles and like cupcake icing. It was
Mm.
crazy. It was very, very, very sweet. Which I don't dislike because when I get Korean corn dogs, there's like a place in Calgary that does Korean street food that I really like. I
Mm.
will get the sugar sprinkles on the outside because that's what they recommend, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I like it. So the Fruity Pebbles wasn't odd because it was already sweet. It was just like this thing was so big that I was like, had to like two hand like
Right.
crazy. Um, then we got some deep fried Oreos, which is a fave always in my
Hmm.
household. I got a dirty soda, which I hadn't had in months because Calgary doesn't do dirty sodas like Lethbridge does because our Mormon population is nothing compared to the Lethbridge Mormon population. And then what else did I get? Something else. Oh yeah, they had like Dole Whip. Like
Ooh.
they had like their version of Dole Whip. So I got some Dole Whip, which was good. And we saw horses and cows and llamas. And we took the train. It was very fun. I saw Shania Twain
Oh yeah.
in concert. Let's go, girls.
Bow, bow.
Oh yeah. Also, the girl who opened for Shania Twain, I did not recognize. Her name's Devin Cole. Have you heard of this woman named Devin Cole?
Mm.
So she was playing and I was like, "Oh, I like her other stuff. This is great." And then at the end, like her second last song of the set list was do you remember the song that was like she's a woman in total control of herself?
Nope.
The Witch song. It was like a song that got really big on TikTok, but this is hers. And so she's from Calgary.
Oh,
So
cool.
she performed for Shania Twain. It's like she don't want to be anyone else. She's a woman in total control of herself. I think if you heard it, you would know it.
Maybe.
Um, or maybe it just got popular because I'm in Calgary. Maybe they're like, just give it to me. Um, but it was great. Shania Twain was great. She brought up this like little girl who was in the front row, and she was like, "I saw you singing to all of my songs." She's like, "What's your favorite song?" And she said one of her newer songs that I didn't know. So
Hmm.
then Shania started singing it and trying to get to this little girl to sing with her. And I was
Aw.
like, I'm not. I will not be doing that. It's so
Not for
funny.
me.
I was like, good for you, girl. It was very sweet.
That's so cute.
Um, but it was very fun. I also went swimming at a public pool, which anyone who knows me knows is kind of scary for me. I don't like public shared spaces, but I went and I didn't die. Wore a bikini, looked
Proud
pretty
of you.
hot, if I do say so
I'm not proud of you
myself.
for wearing a bikini. I'm proud of you for going to a public place.
You could be proud of me for wearing a bikini. I looked hot as hell.
Good. I mean, obviously.
Thank you. Thank you. I went down water slides, which I haven't in years, which was
Oh, I love a water slide.
here's the thing though, like I feel like because of COVID, I haven't done so many things that I like used to be able to do for so long.
Hmm.
So like ice skating, I haven't been ice skating in so long, but like I used to competitively do it. And so then I went skating and I was like, I kind of forgot how. So like I go down this water slide and it's like in a deep tank pool and I
Hmm.
hit the water and I'm like, I don't know if I know how to swim anymore as my head is under the water. And I did, so that was good. But I had this moment where I was like, oh, maybe I should have like,
Practice swimming.
yeah, practiced swimming, maybe.
Oh,
That
that's
was
funny.
funny. Yeah, no, I have a younger cousin who is 14, so we've been doing things for her.
Nice.
Um, she's wonderful and delightful, but my 30-year-old ass could never. Like, so they're up until like midnight every day. I'm like, oh, please, I need to go to bed. It's 8. Please put me to sleep. Um, oh man. Speaking of sleeping, here we go. Ready?
Yeah, I'm
Speaking
ready for this.
Okay. Um, some would say that a TBR is really books you've just been sleeping on. And
That was
today
good.
we are here to thank you. And today we're here to talk about those books. This is our TBR episode, which is um I don't know if you've seen this on TikTok, but like there was this like I'm not even gonna call it a trend. It was like this mini trend where people were like, TBRs are not to-do lists. It's just like it was this narrative that had been recycled so many times, but I just saw a couple people talking and it was like TBRs aren't to-do lists. They should just be like books that you want to read. And I was like, is that not the same thing?
Uh,
Our to-do lists are not
It's
just the thing.
called to be read list.
I know.
So it quite literally means the books that I want to read.
Exactly. And it was like I think maybe part of it was like people who are like, I'm not reading any other book until my TBR is done. But I'm like, usually my TBR are the books that I want to read. And like if a book comes along and surprises me, sure,
Right.
I'll read it. But um the idea is that we're gonna talk about different books on our TBR. Today, some categories. What I have it right here. We have our Longtime Achievement Award category, which is TBR's books that have been on our TBR for a long time. We have our highbrow TBR. I don't know what it's an award ceremony now. Our highbrow TBR
Yeah.
award ceremony, which means like books that if you read your reader sarcastically, she says with a glint in her eye. Not really, but
Like a
one of those
glint.
things.
Maybe even a smirk.
A smirk or a glimmer. Hot off the press, which are books that are new, anticipated releases or new to our TBR. And then half-baked books, which are books that have been on our TBR, half read for a very, very, very long time. So yeah, we'll have a couple per and we'll just chat about them and then go from there.
Perfect. Would you like to begin or shall I?
I can go first.
Okay, great. Let's do all three of yours in the first category and then I'll go.
Gorgeous. So the award winners are in Lifetime Achievement Award. Um, if I'm clearing my throat, I'm sorry. It is so smoky here from the wildfires. I feel like I'm choking on ash. So I apologize in advance. I'm just letting you know. All of you at home, I promise I'm not being gross. Well, maybe a little bit. All right. Um, The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. That has been on my TBR for a very, very, very long time, and I have not read it.
Me neither.
Um, Let me tell you what, R.F. Kuang shows up on this list a couple times because I feel like I love her books. I love her books.
Hmm.
You have to be in the right mood. You have to be in the right mood and
Oh
you have to
yeah.
be in like the right place in your life to read an R.F. Kuang book. And I've just not been in the Poppy War era of my life yet, where I feel like I could be devastated so wholly. Um, yeah, I feel like most people will know, but the Poppy War, it's like a three-book fantasy series about war. Which, like, what fantasy series is not about war? But that's
Want
truly
me to
the.
make a list?
I know you have that. Just happens that all of the freaking fantasy books that I am currently reading are about war.
I know.
Literally all of them. They're all different wars too, and I'm like, I'm confusing them. Um, okay. So Poppy War's the first, and then the second is The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. Never read it.
Me neither.
Never read it. It's on my I literally even own a physical copy. I actually own physical copies of all of these books. Um, except for one, I think. I don't own. Or the ones that haven't come out yet. But
Mhm.
all the other ones I could very well get off my butt and read them. But alas, I have not. A Song of Achilles is a retelling, not a retelling, a reimagining of is it the Iliad?
Isn't it just Achilles?
I don't know. A sniper shoots me down. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I
Um,
think the Iliad is the one about the actual war, and then the Odyssey is about Ulysses coming back home, right? Is
I
that true?
don't know.
But I don't think Song of Achilles is a reimagining of the whole Iliad. I think it's just Achilles'
The
story.
the part of it. Okay. You can keep all this in future Danielle because I don't I don't know how I was supposed to know that. I feel like it got so big. It got so big, and everyone was like, "It's my favorite book," and it's still people's favorite books.
Yeah.
But again, I'm like, it's a piece of queer fiction that I feel like I should very well read.
Yeah.
Um, you
I
know,
really liked Circe.
I loved
Um,
Circe too.
and I read her, what was that little novella she put out?
Oh, yeah.
Um, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's the blue one.
Yes. I really liked that also. So I know I'm gonna like Song of Achilles. I just don't know why I haven't read it yet.
Literally same. And then the last one is another queer piece of fiction that has become cemented in our space, but uh kind of the author kind of fell off before I got to it, but I would still like to read it. The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I've never read it. Taylor Jenkins Reid, divisive author. Um, if you're not aware, you're more than welcome to do a couple Google searches or check a comment section on a book related post with her in it. But I feel like that was another book that got so popular so quickly. And so I got it and then just never got around to reading it. But I would like to read it because I've heard that is her best book.
Do I agree with that?
Or at least
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's her best.
I for what it's worth, I do like her writing style. I just know Stanley's barking at the door. Um,
Stan.
he's like, "Let me in." For what it's worth, I think maybe it's the one that just got the most popular, other than Malibu Rising. That one was also very popular.
And Daisy Jones and the Six.
Oh, I totally forgot. Sh- That was probably the most popular one that she wrote.
Probably.
But did she write? And that's my where we can't get into it. can you call that an original story when it is so clearly based on something that happened?
All of them are,
I know, and I'm like, so can we call
you
is
know,
but then I guess I'm like fan fiction like it, it's fan fiction. So I'm like I do like fan
of
fiction. So,
reality.
you know, okay, those are my books. I guess,
Nice.
yeah, I guess Song or Seven Husbands, sorry, just in case you don't know, Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo is about a movie star named Evelyn Hugo who has seven husbands. And it's like, it's with a TV or like a, not a TV
A
reporter,
journalist.
a journalist, thanks you, a journalist who, is kind of interviewing her throughout about points in her life, whatever, whatever. Okay, those are my three Lifetime Achievement Awards. Thank you.
Nice.
The band
My
pays me off.
turn.
Boo doo 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 doo.
Okay, so I have, shocker, three fantasy books. Yeah, I think so. Um, so the
Okay.
first one is I only wrote down the first book in the series, but it is the whole series because I haven't read it. It's The Jasmine Throne, the first book in The Burning Kingdoms
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
by Tasha Suri. I can't believe that I haven't finished the Sapphic Trifecta. I read Priory of the Orange Tree, I
Yeah.
read The Unbroken, and I think that's what it's called. Um,
What about the
and
sun that she becomes the sun? She who?
that wasn't in the Sapphic Trifecta. The Sapphic Trifecta was the three books that came out in the same year. So it was
Oh,
Fury, The Unbroken, and The Jasmine Throne.
oh,
They all came out like
boom,
around the
boom,
same
boom.
time, and everybody
Gotcha,
was like, and all the colors had all the covers had like orange on the cover.
got you.
Um, so it was like, da-da-da,
Yep.
Uh, so this book, I'm just pulling up to do a little brief thing in case anybody's curious. A captive princess and a maidservant in possession of forbidden magic become unlikely allies on a dark journey to save their empire from the princess's traitor brother. Yeah,
Whoa,
I don't know why I haven't read it yet.
sounds great.
And I think the third book just came out or is coming out, so it's about darn time. The second book slash series is uh are you a series person or are you a standalone person?
I'm a series guy, but I honestly like I love series and that's what I prefer, but I will not read books because they are in series
Hmm.
in the same breath. I'm a traitor to my people.
That's okay. Uh the next book is The Gilded Wolves,
Oh yeah,
Roshani
that's
Chokshi. I started it a while ago. Maybe I should have put this in my half-baked thing,
that's
but
fine.
I didn't like the audiobook, so I need to read it with my eyeballs.
Your
Um,
peepers,
I
yeah.
loved Roshani's book, The Tale of the Last Flower Bride. So I'm like,
Yes.
I want to read more of her stuff. And this one is like, I remember it being comped to Six of Crows. Like it's
It's a heist. It's heisty.
yeah, so it's also historical, 1889.
New
The
York
city
City. Just kidding, it's France, right?
I think so. Yeah. The city is on the cusp of industry and power, and the Exposition Universelle has breathed new life into the streets and dredged up ancient secrets. Here, no one
Ooh.
keeps tabs on dark truths better than treasure hunter and wealthy hotelier Severin Montagnet Allaire. My
Slay.
French is terrible. When the elite, ever powerful Order of Babel coerces him to help them on a mission, Severin is offered a treasure that he never imagined, his true inheritance. Uh,
Oh,
Together, there's a bunch of other people that will join Severin as he explores the dark, glittering heart of Paris. What they find might change the course of history, but only if they can stay alive.
dun dun dun.
I love a book where, like, the threat of death is looming.
Crazy.
Uh, and I think that series is finished now. So it's about darn time. And rounding it out, I have The Queen of the Tierling by Erica Johansson. I wanted to put a book on here that's really like heralded in the fantasy space because I
Yeah.
feel like I love being a fantasy reader. I love talking about fantasy books. I love getting people into fantasy, but I myself have not read books that are like the cornerstones of fantasy. And I
Yeah.
feel like when people talk about the heavy hitter fantasy books, this one usually ends up on people's lists. Um, so magic, adventure, mystery, and romance combine in this epic debut in which a young princess must reclaim her dead mother's throne, learn to be a ruler, and defeat the Red Queen, a powerful and malevolent sorceress determined to destroy her. Again, sounds
Mm,
like something I would love.
yeah.
I remember starting this book quite a while ago, but I did not like the audiobook, so I've been waiting to get my hands on it. And those
Nice.
are my award winners.
Congratulations to all the recipients. Um, highly coveted prize. Highly
So,
coveted prize.
so coveted.
Okay, our next category is the highbrow. So these are like books. I pitch this category as like books that people believe that you are a reader once you've read,
Mhm.
quote unquote, blah 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 blah. Um,
Tongue
so
in cheek, tongue in cheek. Tee
yeah,
hee.
exactly,
Ha
right? Like
ha.
obviously there's a lot of like interesting influences that tell people that certain books are books that are worth reading. But I feel like for me personally, a lot of those books have just been left to rot on my TBR because I'm like, yeah, I'll go read War and Peace at some point.
One day.
One day I'll get to it. So my one day books are, um, the first one is Les Mis or Les Miserables by Victor
Wow.
Hugo. Les Miserables.
The Mizrach.
Um, as a musical theater girly, I feel like everyone's like, yeah, I'll read it.
One
Uh,
day.
I would like to read it at some point. Um, I could quite literally because I did the school edition of Les Mis, so I could do the whole musical beat by beat, one woman show style. Look down, don't look 'em in the eye. Look down, you're here until you die. It's the first opening song, the opening lines of that song, and by that song I mean that show. Um, I feel like Victor Hugo is one of those guys that everyone's like the best. And I'm like, I gotta know. I gotta know for me if he's the
Yeah.
best. I gotta know.
I gotta make my own opinions.
Exactly. I'm like, I do not like people telling me what to do. Except
No.
for most of this TBR is me being like, people told me to read it,
People
so
told me to read these books, so I want to read them.
I read it. Okay, so the second one is called Guns, Germs, and Steel: The Fate of Human Societies by Jared Diamond. Have you heard of this book?
No.
It's a nonfiction book. I'll read a little synopsis of it. Um, so the winner of the Pulitzer Prize and a national bestseller, the global account of the rise of civilization that is also a stunning refutation of ideas of human development based on race. Um, Jared Diamond convincingly argues that geographical and environmental factors shape the modern world. Societies that had a head start in food production advanced beyond the hunter-gatherer stage and then developed writing, technology, government, and organized religion, as well as nasty germs and potent weapons of war, and adventured on sea and land to conquer and decimate pre-literate cultures. A major advance in our understanding of human societies, gun germs and steel chronicle the way that the modern world came to be and stunningly dismantles racially biased theories of human history. So it was like kind of the first book that was like, not, that's probably not true, but it was kind of the first like most popular and accessible book that was like, hey, you guys, the way that we think about societies has nothing to do with race. It's just what people had access to geographically, what people had access to, like technology wise, and that's what causes certain geographical locations to become more advanced, quote unquote, than
Hello.
others. This was a book that my, again, Nicolette, my older sister, bought for me. So I have a physical copy of it. It's freaking Chonky, chonky,
Yeah.
chonky boy book. But anyone who knows me knows this is like right up my alley, and
Which
I'm
one's longer, that or Les Mis?
late this. Hands down. Hands down. They talk about the sewer system in Les Mis for like 3 million pages.
I know.
So I'm
Forever.
like, so I'm like, Gundams and Steel, at least it would be like riveting. Not that sewers aren't riveting, but sewers in Paris, I feel like anything in Paris is riveting.
Okay.
Come on. Come on. Um, yeah, so that's my number two. The third one's funny. The third one is The Way of Kings by Brent.
Oh.
Um, which is funny because I feel like it's the first book in the Stormlight Archive
Yep.
series. It's another chunky book, but I feel like Brandon Sanderson is really hailed as like one of the best uh fantasy writers, and I I've tried reading Mistborn a couple times, but I really like haven't gotten far enough into it to really base an opinion on it,
Hmm.
to be completely frank. But I would like to read the Stormlight Archives at some point in my life,
Mm.
um, just to say that I have read it, even though I do not agree with Brandon Sanderson on a lot of things. Um, Mostly his view on gay marriage, which he has apologized for, but I'm gonna keep one eye open.
You must.
I have to. Um, I'm gonna try to read this synopsis, not the whole thing, because it's quite literally as long as the book, and it's a lot of mumbo jumbo. All
I'm
right,
sure.
here's a little. Stop stalling. Okay, The Way of Kings, Book One of the Starlight Archives begins an incredible new saga of epic proportions. Roshar is a world of stone and storms. Uncanny tempests of incredible power sweep across the rocky terrain so frequently that they have shaped shaped ecology and civilization alike. Animals hide in shells, trees pull in branches, grass retracts into the soilless ground. Cities are built only where the topography allows shelter. It has been it has been centuries since the fallen of the 10 consecrated orders, known as the Knight Radiant, but their shard blades and shard plate remain. Mystical swords and suit of armors that transform ordinary men into merely or nearly invincible warriors. Men trade kingdoms for shard blades. Wars were fought for them and won by them. One such war rages on in a ruined landscape called the Shattered Plains. There, Kaladin, who traded his medical apprenticeship for a spear to protect his little brother, has been reduced to slavery. In a war that makes no sense, where 10 armies fight separately against a single foe, he struggles to save his men and fathom the leaders who consider them expendable. And then that goes on to introduce some of the other characters, which I
Mm.
will not be reading because that was painful. Um, it's so mumbo jumbo. It's just like soup. I'm like, okay. So
Yeah. Like I need a snappy, like, this is who the main character is. This is what they're doing. This is the stakes of the world.
literally, and there's a bit. I'm in my Smosh era right now. I'm back
Mm-hmm.
loving Smosh on YouTube, but they do this show called Try Not to Laugh, where they do little improv bits.
Oh, I love watching those on TikTok.
They're so funny. But there's one that it's like Damien and Shane, and they're trying to make Angela laugh. And it's
Okay.
like every fantasy series ever. And they just let Damien go, and he's like, in the and it's like and I'm like, that word for word is exactly what that is, where it's just like these And like I'm sure once you're in the series and you love it, you're like it's so meaningful. But for someone on the outside who has no idea, it is just like word vomit.
Yeah. On the outside, always looking in.
Hey, Evan Hansen. Nice to see you. Anyway, those are my highbrow Les Mis, Guns, Germs, and Steel. And I wrote that one Brandon Sanderson book, and then I had to Google it, The Way of Kings.
Oh, congratulations to our award winners.
Thank you.
Yay. We're back. Okay. I don't really know what my approach was with these three books. The first one is Pride and Prejudice. I
Mm.
actually can't believe I've never read it.
Okay.
I heard there's a new audiobook. Actually, I don't know how new it is, but it's narrated by Rosamund Pike, and I really want to read that. So that's on my like to-do list this summer. Uh yeah, it just feels like one of those books that I feel like I need to read
Yeah, one of the
for
literary
me,
greats. Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know? I actually don't think I've ever read any Jane Austen.
I've read a lot of Jane Austen, but that was like high school Danielle, like fresh off Twilight. Like the girls read Jane Austen.
Right. Um, Up next is another quote unquote, I shouldn't do that. It is a classic, Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. Again, another author I've never read and a book I've never read. It says this is a gothic masterpiece of tempestuous passions and dark secrets. Charlotte Bronte tells the story of orphaned Jane Eyre, who grows up in the home of her heartless aunt, enduring loneliness and cruelty. This troubled childhood strengthens Jane's natural independence and spirit, which prove necessary when she finds employment as a governess to the young ward of Byronic, brooding Mr. Rochester.
Yep.
As her feelings for Rochester develop, Jane gradually uncovers Thornfield Hall's terrible secret, forcing her to make a choice. Should she stay with Rochester and live with the consequences, or follow her convictions, even if it means leaving the man she loves? Uh, yeah, I just feel like I can't believe I haven't read it yet, and I
I have a
should.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Those two books, have you read any like adapted based on like remixed versions of the stories?
Not Jane Eyre, but probably Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that was maybe a dumb question because I feel like everything is kind of Pride and Prejudice,
And
but
I've seen a lot of the like TV and film
got you.
adaptations,
So you know like the twist in Jane Eyre. Okay, okay,
Yes.
okay, okay.
Yes, I do. I'm not I'm not uncultured.
No, no,
Well.
jeez. Hey, hey, didn't mean it like that. Um, but um I read my first I did not realize Jane Eyre was a thing. I read a book called Jane, which was like a modern adaptation of Jane Eyre, but I didn't know because it didn't do a very
Mm.
good job of disclosing it. But it was
Oh,
about this like woman who becomes a babysitter or like a live-in nanny to a rock star. He's Mr. Rochester. And then I remember like it getting to the spoiler alert, skip ahead 30 seconds if you don't want to know the spoiler in Jane Eyre, when his wife is kept in the attic. Um, it just they kept it the same. It was like she was just the woman, like
the
didn't.
woman in the attic.
I was like, what? Why is there a woman in the attic in this rock star's home? Like, what?
That's funny.
Crazy.
Um, I someone has to have done analysis on why so many people love shoving people in attics.
I gotta know. Flowers in the attic.
That's exactly.
Guys, we attics are not good for people. Let me be the first person in history to say that.
Ever.
Yeah,
First person ever.
exactly.
And the third book is just all in all, The Lord of the Rings. I have read The Hobbit. I
Yeah.
have not read the following trilogy. And I feel like if I want to It sounds so stupid. If I want to call myself a fantasy reader, I should read Lord of the Rings.
Fair.
I don't know. I just feel like it would be good. People really like them. I love the movies. Like I'm
Yeah.
obsessed with movies. So I feel like I should just do it. Finish reading the books. I was gonna do it when I read The Hobbit, and then I just fell off after finishing The Hobbit. Uh,
They're tough to slog through.
I did the audiobook. I really liked the audiobook of The Hobbit.
Um,
Yeah, and it was the newest edition of the audiobook, and I thought they did a really good job. So I feel like that's the one nice thing about reading well-known IP that is still getting
yeah.
republished all these years later is sometimes you get a like more updated audiobook or more updated like I got a really great updated version of The Picture of Dorian Gray when I read it,
Ooh.
and there was this amazing forward in the book that was like there's actually a bunch of chapters that got taken out for the last like 100 years, and it's back in this edition so you can read the like full intended version. And I was like, oh, that's kind of nice. Like I'm glad that I I got to read the book it was intended to be and not the book that was
Yeah.
edited for societal structures. Um, so anyway, I kind of feel the same about Lord of the Rings. I feel like
Yeah.
there's a handful of audiobook versions out now. Like I know there's the Andy Serkis version that people talk about being really incredible. So that'll probably be what I do. And then honorable mention goes to Wuthering Heights. I do need to.
Weathering, weathering, weathering. I'm at your window. Weathering, weathering. Have you heard that song
No.
from Wuthering Heights musical?
Nope.
Weathering, weathering, weathering. I'm at your window. Um, that's crazy. So it, it a lot of your books are like the books that like teenage Danielle was like
Yeah, I was not reading them when
culture,
I was in high school.
culture. I love it. I love that. It was very like Bella Swan reads these books, therefore I should read these books coded.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, amazing. Um, and then Lord of the Rings, which you know what, Lord of the Rings is also on my list a little bit. Um, I just feel like I had to read The Hobbit for school, so I feel like I still need to give it a little bit of time until I'm like, oh, I
Mm.
get to read this for me now.
Yeah.
Okay. I realized that I didn't get for the next category, which is our hot off the presses, which is like our newest adds to our TBR.
Hmm.
I didn't have my little excerpts of them, but now hot off the presses. Here we go. My first one, I don't think is going to be a surprise to anyone, is Calabasas by R.F. Kuang. Is that on
Hmm.
your list?
No.
Okay. It is R.F. Kuang's newest book to come out. It comes out in the end of August, which I'm like,
Oh,
I know, August 26th, I think. Which I'm like, okay,
soon.
soon, but not soon enough. Here's a little excerpt. Two graduate students must set aside their rivalry and journey to hell to save their professor's soul, perhaps at the cost of their own. Alice Law has only ever had one goal, to become the one of the brightest minds in the field of magic, with a K and a C. She has sacrificed everything to make that a reality. Her pride, her health, her love life, and most definitely her sanity. All to the work of Professor Jacob Grimes at Cambridge, the greatest magician in the world, that is, until he dies in a magical accident that could possibly be her fault. Grimes is in hell, and she's going after him because his recommendation could hold her very future in his now incorporeal hands. Jeez,
Corporeal.
thank you. Uh, and even death is not going to stop the pursuit of her dreams, nor will the fact that her rival, Peter Murdoch, has come to the same conclusion. So, there's a Hosier song, which friend of the pod Bridge went to go see Hosier like a couple days ago and was reading Calabasas. And there's a song that Hosier sings called, I think it's called Francesca. Um, and it's about like kind of like the Orpheus Eurydice, like I'm going to hell kind of thing for you,
Mm.
whatever. But it's like, I tell them put me back in there, but like nicer because it's Hosier. Um, but it's such a good song, and we're just like, that's what this is. And I was like, oh God, okay, I want to read it. So
I'm
that's my first
intrigued.
one. First freaking one. Second one is Wild Card by Elsie Silver, which is the fourth book
Mhm.
in the Rose Hill series. The one, do you remember the one where she's gets marriage of convenience to the WWE wrestler?
Oh, yes. I need to read Elsie Silver.
She's
That
great.
should have been on every single one of these categories for
We
me.
should get her on the pod. Canadian author, romance.
Elsie,
Girl, come here,
you're
girl.
invited. Here's your personal invitation.
I love you, girl. Look, I look right at the camera. I love you, girl. Please.
I feel like we just have an open invitation to any author that we mention and say that we like reading their books.
Yeah, even if you're dead, come on the pod.
Come on down,
Come on,
Jane
Victor
Austen.
Hugo. Uh,
Victor.
I panicked for a second. I was like, what if he's not dead? And I was like, there's no way that man's still. What if he's still alive somewhere? Okay, sorry. I panicked.
That's
Um,
funny.
okay, Wild Card by Elsie Silver is it's the fourth book in the Rose Hill series, so it's like the last hot eligible single gets together with somebody in the friend group. Um, Sebastian Rousseau is a grumpy, hot as hell fire pilot who is too damn good with his hands. Sorry, it's the perfect combination. But unfortunately for me, he's also my ex-boyfriend's dad.
Whoa.
A chance meeting brought us together, and a misconnection has kept us apart. 1 year later, a stroke of fate has us living under the same roof, which makes everything between us downright messy. Because even after all this time, he's still the man I think about when I fall asleep. And then it goes on to talk about like he's so hot.
Okay, taboo romance.
I know. Taboo, but the most boo, which is like not the inverse of taboo is boo, you know? The most boo
Yeah.
taboo there could be. Okay, and the last one is My Friends by Frederick Bachman that just came
Oh,
out.
yeah.
Um, the girls know, the girlies know that I'm a Frederick Bachman girly. Um, and I have not read this one yet, but I've heard it is very good. I have a couple friends who've read it and who really like it. Shout out to the librarian at the school I worked at, Mrs. Elwood Wright, who recommended me this book and didn't even know I love Frederick Bachman. I was like, I love Frederick Bachman. But it basically is a story of four teenagers whose friendship creates a bond so powerful that it changes a complete stranger's life 25 years later. Most people don't even notice them. Three tiny figures sitting at the end of a long pier in the corner of one of the most famous paintings in the world. Most people think it's a depiction of the sea, but Louisa, an inspiring artist herself, knows otherwise and is determined to find out the story of these three enigmatic figures. Um, it was described to me kind of like a Lemony Snicket style book where there's like the story happening, but then somebody commenting on the story,
Oh, cool.
which I was like, oh, I do like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's about the story of these three boys in this famous painting that this woman goes to find out their story, which I think is really freaking cool and cute and sweet. But those are my hot off the presses.
Nice. Congratulations, all the award winners.
Thank you.
Okay, my first pick is a Swan Lake retelling. Uh,
Shocking.
I know. It just came out. It's called A Treachery of Swans by A.B. Poranik, and it's a sapphic retelling of Swan Lake. It says
Mhm.
for fans of Alison Saft and V.E. Schwab. So, they got me. Uh, Magic has long been outlawed in Ariel. Odile has always known she'd be the one to restore it. Raised by a sorcerer, Odile has spent years preparing for the heist of a lifetime. It's perfectly simple. Impersonate a princess, infiltrate the palace, steal the king's enchanted crown, and restore magic to the kingdom. But when the king is unexpectedly murdered, she's forced to recruit the help of Marie d'Odette, the real princess, and the two begin to unravel a web of lies and deceit that leaves Odile uncertain of who to trust. Soon, though, Odile must decide her mission or the girl she's falling for.
Whoa.
I want to read it immediately.
That does sound right up your alley.
I love Swan Lake. It is one of my favorite stories, it's one of my favorite ballets, and I'm like, yeah, if you can reimagine Swan Lake in a cool, even darker sounding way, give it to me.
Yeah.
The next book is, I think the rest of them maybe haven't come out yet, or this one might be out, I'm not sure. When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker.
Hmm.
Da, 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 da. Hello. Um, okay, here we go. It took me a second to find
That's okay.
this. It's a fast-paced fantasy romance featuring an immersive, vibrant world with mysterious creatures, a unique magic system, and a love that blazes through the ages. As an assassin for the rebellion group Fleur de Ath, Rave's job is to complete orders and never get caught. When a rival bounty hunter turns her world upside down, blood spills, hearts break, and Rave finds herself imprisoned by the Guild of Nobles, a group of powerful fae who turn her into a political statement. Crushed by the loss of his great love, Khan Vagor took the head of a king and donned his melted crown. Now, on a timeless quest to quell the never-ebbing ache in his chest, he is lured by a clue into the capital's high-security prison, where he stumbles upon the imprisoned Ray. Echoes of the past race between them. There's more to their story than meets the eye, but some truths are too poisonous to swallow.
Uh-oh.
So, gimme, gimme. I want it. And the latest on this list doesn't come out for quite a while. It is Inamorata, the House of Teeth duology, excuse me, by
Mhm.
Ava Reed.
Mhm.
Anyway, it is it's a gothic romance, and I think in true Ava Reed fashion, it's going to be quite um, gothic forward.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty excited about that. I think it comes out next year. Yeah, March 2026 through
Oh,
Del
perfect.
Rey.
Very
Uh,
cool.
and then my bonus for this one, because I had to mention it, is Among the Burning Flowers by Samantha Shannon, the next book in the Roots of Chaos cycle, which is Priory of the Orange Tree. I actually don't know September, so I don't have to wait that long.
Oh,
Um,
oh,
I think this book takes place, if I'm not mistaken, between Priory and
whatever the first one was.
whatever the
The
whatever
prequel
the
was.
prequel is called. Um
A day? No.
Day of Fallen Night.
Yeah, okay.
So I think it's between those two, if I'm not mistaken. Um and yeah, I'm excited.
Hey,
I'm
amazing.
excited.
Amazing. Last but certainly not least is our half-baked books, which are books that have been half read on our TBR for far too long. That we should probably at this point either buckle down and read or DNF. One or the other.
Eh,
Speaking of Priory of the Orange Tree, that's my first one. I'm 18% of the way through it, which means I'll have to restart it because I won't remember anything. Uh, I have notes of how long they have been sitting half read, but I haven't picked it up since June of 2023. So I need to pick that one up, finish it off. Um, I know I'll love it. I just need to read it. Um,
No judgment coming from over here.
okay, good. I'm like, I know I liked the 18% that I read. It just I was trying to read it in time for Day of Hollow Night, so I was reading it way too fast. I need to
Mm,
go back and like read it at a reasonable
yeah.
pace. The second one is one I think I'm gonna just officially DNF because
Oh.
with the controversy coming out around this book and this author that I'm like, I don't know if it's worth finishing. Crave by Tracy Wolff. I still have not read it.
Mm,
Started it in December 5th of 2020. It was 5 years ago. Um, but yeah, there was this whole big controversy that came out that she may or may not have allegedly stolen the series from somebody else. Um, so that has definitely really put it down. No, I'm just kidding. There was already a damper. I was not picking it up. But it's still on my Goodreads, which I think is really funny in my currently reading,
right.
which I just think is very funny. But it's about a girl who goes to the supernatural academy in Alaska, where there's
Mm,
werewolves and vampires and dragon shifters, I think. It's very mid. It is very mid. Um, like lo less than mid actually. I think
mm,
I got suckered into it through nostalgia baiting because it's like, oh, it's just like Twilight. It'll give you the same feeling. I'm like, no, it's not. Unfortunately, that's my own personal brand of heroin that nobody else can replicate. And then the last one is Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson, which
Oh yeah.
uh my sister Gabby got for me for Christmas in 2021, which I
Mhm.
started, really liked, and just put down slash kind of lost the book. I don't know where the book is. So I need to maybe rebuy it or just get it from Libby or something. But
Mm,
that's another one that's on my another like Academy that murder mystery, like she gets sent to the school that has like created the best detectives or like gifted youth of a certain era. Um, oh yeah, it's funded by this like really rich tycoon, and it's basically like a house of riddles where there's a whole bunch of things in place to
mm,
see to prove that she's like the best, whatever, whatever.
right.
It gives Nancy Drew vibes. It gives Harriet the Spy vibes. Which are all things I'm really into. It says perfect for fans of Agatha Christie and E. Lockhart, which is the person who wrote whatever the new one that just came out.
In the We Were Liars
Yeah,
series,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. And by the new one that just came out, I mean the show.
Right,
The
right, right,
books have been
right.
out for years. The new one that came out. But
We could do a buddy read because I have it around here somewhere.
Truly Devious.
Yes.
Yeah, let me find it.
Me too.
Cool.
I,
Let me
I don't
find
know
it,
where
and
I put
then
it.
I think that would be such a fun buddy read.
I agree.
Honorable mention to the Inheritance Game, which is also another book that I have half read that I need to finish, which I
Me
also
too.
will very much enjoy. It's just I also don't know where that physical book went. I moved, and a lot of the books were not moved with the other books because I was halfway through reading them, and then like, who knows? Not I, which is the problem. Anyway, those are my half-baked books. Thank you, award recipients.
Congratulations. Uh, I took a slightly different approach to this category and I went with series that I want to finish because
Nice.
you know me, I don't really love leaving books unfinished for more than a year without deciding that I'm never going to read them again. Uh,
Which is like the sane thing to do.
So, these are series that I am in the middle of or are like in the process of getting new books. The first one is The Bone Shard Daughter, which is the Drowning Empire series by Andrea Stewart.
Yes.
I think all the books are out in this series, and I've read the first one, The Bone Shard Daughter. So, for any of you that don't remember, The Emperor's reign has lasted for decades, his mastery of bone shard magic powering the animal-like constructs that maintain law and order. But now his rule is falling, and revolution is sweeping across the Empire's many lands. And there are three points of view throughout the book, and each of them are finding out different things about this empire and how this magic works and why it might be faltering. I loved the first book so much. It is one of my top five like best fantasy books I've ever read. Period.
So
I don't know
sick.
why I haven't finished the series. I think because it is such a deep, epic fantasy and the magic system is so vast. I knew I needed to read it at a time where I was like, I'm in a fantasy mood and
Yeah,
I'm ready to be taken to another realm.
fair.
The second is the Nightshade Crown series by Hannah Witten. The third book is coming out in a couple weeks, The Nightshade God, and I'm so excited.
Yes.
This is Foxglove King and what the heck is
Hemlock.
Hemlock Queen. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Um,
No reason I know that from the top of my head.
so I love this. I love Hannah's writing. I love this series. It's very, very dark. I love that she's not afraid to like put in twists that make you literally go, "What?" So
Yes.
I'm just excited to see where this goes. I'm actually not sure if it's a trilogy, and that this is the last book, or if there is more in this series,
Mm.
um, because it's just called The Nightshade Crown. And the last one is a series that I will talk about forever and ever and ever. I don't know how many more books are getting published in it. It is the Saint of Steel series. The latest book just came out this year, Paladin's Faith, and it's the fourth book. And, or no, it looks like this one came out in 2023, actually.
Dun
But it
dun
came out this year. Maybe it
dun.
got, anyway, I'm not sure. But that's the latest book in the series. And I remember reading somewhere where she had like six or seven books lined up in this series, but it just got acquired for traditional publishing. So I think there's a little bit of lag time in the
Yeah.
rollout for the rest of the series. So I'm waiting on bated breath to hear about the next book in this series. I'm very, very excited. The way the book ended, it like and the way each of them ends, it like opens up the world a little bit more for new things to happen.
Yeah.
Um, but the way this last book ended, it was like a giant double door opening to the rest of this world. So I'm really quite excited.
Well, congratulations to everybody who's been left to rot on our
On our
TBR.
TBRs.
Hopefully we get to you soon.
One day.
Um, well, speaking of our TBRs, these books could never, because they are the books we are currently reading. Um, I'll go first because I don't have a lot to say because I'm in the middle of a few books and haven't finished. I feel like we're both in a little bit of, well, maybe you finished some, but I feel like where we are right now in our podcast land has left us in the middle of many books.
Mm.
But I am in the middle of, speaking of, and not to give any hints or clues to, um, actually, I'll misdirect you. I'll talk about one that has nothing to do with the podcast. Blood Over Bright Haven. I
Oh,
have to finish it for tomorrow because that's when my book club is meeting. It is so. I know I've 3 weeks in a row been like, it's so good. It is so good. Like, probably one of the best books I'll read this year. Good.
yeah.
Like, it is so good. I'm also reading Black Tide Suns,
Oh,
um, which has been good. It's definitely like I was talking to Deirdre about this. It starts off slow again, like it resets back to like mind you, I feel like Darkwater Daughter starts off really fast. Like that
yeah.
opening chapter is crazy
Yeah.
too.
It's like you're in it.
Um, but this feels like we have to go back a little bit because because Darkwater Daughter starts like drops you into the world and is like because that's what the character is happening to Mary. She's just dropped into this world. I feel like the second book is like, oh, I gotta go back and like build some of some of the surrounding world that the other characters are more because and we were just talking about this before the podcast starts, but the second book very much feels like the Sam book, the Samuel book, who is one of the characters, the one of the main male protagonists. Um, but it's good. It's good. I'm reading it. I'm just hoping to get into the part where it picks up a little bit so that I can ride the wave all the way into Red Tempest Brothers
Brother. Mhm.
Brother, which comes out, which came out
It came out on Tuesday
Tuesday. Yeah,
of the week
um,
we're recording.
of the week we're recording. So if you could go do the math of that and figure out what day we're recording, congratulations to you. And I've also started watching Love Island, so I feel like that's been taking up a lot of my time too.
Yeah.
Because that is Deirdre and my sister Gabby have been getting front row seats to me watching Love Island. Uh, Huda is crazy. Cannot cannot stand that girl. Um, but I also get her epically. I understand
Yes,
her. I'm
I do.
like I'm like I get it, girl. I'm sure we've all been there.
However, as somebody that has been watching Love Island for a really long time,
Yeah.
I wish that the audience had a little bit more say in who got to stay for the longevity of this season.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm still like basically where I was because I have been traveling and haven't been able to watch, but apparently I'm about to get to the good part, so I'm excited.
I'm like a week behind.
I'm like, don't worry, I'm a year behind, years behind.
Oh, excuse me.
What are you reading, brother?
I am currently reading the third book in the oh my gosh, the first book is literally sitting on my shelf out there. Little Thieves series by Margaret Owen called Holy Terrors. And I have been waiting to read this book. I've been waiting for the audiobook to come through and it finally came through and it is so freaking good, you guys. If you don't know anything about Little Thieves, Vanya is the main character. She is the goddaughter of Death and Fortune, the gods. And she is their goddaughter because she is the 13th daughter of a 13th daughter, I believe. And her mom was like, I can't do this. She brings misfortune with her. I don't want her in my family. I don't want her in my life. And she drops this baby at the feet of Death and Fortune. And she becomes a con artist masquerading as a princess in the first book. And it's the first book is a retelling of the Goose Girl. And we get to meet a he's called a prefect, which is kind of like not a police officer, but like somebody who like a detective, essentially. That's a much better descriptor. But he has like a little bit of magic too, which comes with the position. And he is chasing down Vanya, while Vanya is also dealing with the consequences of her own actions because she's been cursed by a god. And so that is like the first book. The third book is the like trials and tribulations of her and Emmerich, the prefect's relationship over the course of the three books. And when we get to her in this third book, she has come a very long way from being a con artist, but she has kind of taken on a alias where she's a little bit of a Robin Hood kind of character, steals from the rich to feed the poor-esque. And there is a series of murders happening to some people in power, and people believe that her alias is the one that is committing these murders. And people have to prove that she isn't, not only to clear her alias's name, but also because she is the goddaughter of Death and Fortune, and they may be like mixed with her fate a little bit. She has some god-like attachments, and so the belief of what she can do is becoming things she can actually do. So if people continue to believe that she is a murderer, it could have dire consequences for the rest of her life. And it is just so it's so juicy. It's so juicy. Uh I love that Margaret isn't afraid to get dark and
Yeah.
dirty and like weed up some really hard to grapple with emotions in a YA series. I find it to be so refreshing
Yeah.
and I love it. I love it. So
Every time you talk about the series, I'm like, I gotta read it.
it's so good. And the audiobook is read by Saskia Margavelt, who is one of my favorite audiobook narrators in general, but also she does the like Eastern European um inspired books incredible justice. Like she does a lot of Ava Reed's books. She's done the Bear and the Nightingale series, this series. Um, if you've read a book that kind of has like that kind of Eastern European feel, she's usually the one narrating it.
Dope. Well, that's our episode, friends.
That's it. We hope you enjoyed. Obviously, please let us know what is on your TBR. You could pick a whole category to tell us about or a couple different books. We want to know, what is
Yeah.
everybody looking forward to reading? I'll wrap this up. If you listen to this whole episode, please let us know by either leaving a comment on our YouTube channel or on our latest Instagram post. You can go ahead and leave the emoji that is the stack of books, and also tell us what is coming up on your TBR.
Please.
Please make sure you are following us on all the platforms. We are everywhere that you can listen to podcasts. We are on YouTube and rate, review, subscribe, hit that notification bell on YouTube. And don't forget to leave us a rating
Hmm.
or a review. It would really, really help us out. You can also go ahead and follow us on our own platforms. We want to keep following each of us on our own personal journeys. I am at Deirdre Rose Morgan on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Bindery.
And I'm DJ Books on TikTok, Instagram, and on Threads.
That is it for this week's episode. We will chat to you in the next one.
I love
Bye.
you. Bye.